I try to keep it relatively positive on this channel, but in this one, I want to go over something that's honestly been bugging me a little bit in Destiny. Now, specifically, what I want to talk about is the artifact. This got introduced all the way back with the launch of Shadowkeep in Season of the Undying. It offers so many different gameplay styles and helps out with the bunch of builds that we currently have in the game, and can completely change the meta from season to season just how strong some of the perks can be. Now, that is a whole video we could talk about, and I will touch on it a little bit, but it is not the main focus of this video. And I more so want to talk about the path to acquiring these artifact mods. Now, really quick, I am so close to 35,000 subscribers. So if y'all enjoyed this and find yourself coming back to the channel, consider hitting that sub button and dropping a like. It really helps the channel out, and I truly appreciate all the support. Before you know it, we're going to be on the road to 40K, and I honestly just cannot thank you all enough. But all right, jumping into it, I think we need to look back at how the artifacts used to work really quick before we go over how it works now. When it first got launched, you could only pick up to a certain amount of artifact mods that had to be inserted into your armor, and it also costs to reset the artifact. It was by far in its worst state, because if you want to try out any of the mods, obviously having to pay to reset the artifact is annoying, but you didn't even have access to get to everything, and it also conflicted with builds because it did count as energy when you inserted them into your armor. Well, eventually they went on to change it where you could actually unlock every single artifact mod, but it still did have that energy cost when you inserted it into your armor. What was really cool about this though is that you didn't have to worry about resetting your artifact at all, which is the main concern for a long time because it costs so much. But again, you still did have that energy cost, which would obviously require a slots in your armor. I'm looking at you, 7 cost unstoppable grenade launcher. Well, with the most recent changes to the artifact, they have now went back to where you cannot unlock every single mod, but now the artifact is free to reset, and it no longer requires energy to actually insert these mods because they are now just unlockable perks. Now, I don't want this to be a video talking about how bad the new artifact system is, because I would just be wrong if I said it was bad, because having them as unlockable perks is by far the superior option to what it used to be. The thing I really want to go over in this video, like I said at the beginning, is the path to get these. So if we just take a look at the artifact really quick, obviously it is free to reset, which is very nice, and having them as unlockable perks is also extremely nice. Problem is that we have mods in this that are kind of beneficial to every single build, but then there are some are heavily dedicated to certain builds. So obviously things like Flare Up and Rain of Firebolts are going to heavily play into solar. So if you're playing a solar based build with Firebolts, it is a no-brainer to equip these. So you would have to go on and reset your entire artifact to then insert all your perks again just to do that. That is just for your one specific build. And then if you want to go to a different build, say something like Strand, having Untangler, Allied Unraveling, and Threaded Blast are by far your superior options, so you would have to reset your entire artifact again just to replace this. After doing that for a while, it does get a little time consuming, especially if you do make a ton of builds. I'm sure if you just stick to one build and only play PvE, it's not that bad because you don't really ever have to change it out that much. But if you are playing PvE and PvP and you want to swap some of these mods up and you have different builds for each subclass, you're going to be resetting this artifact a lot just to get the perks you want. Now, another thing I want to bring up is the fact that we do have 12 unlocks was their way of kind of balancing the system out. So you could just have every single one of these as an unlockable perk in the background, which I understand, but at the same time, you pretty much already have all the unlockable perks anyway if you really think about it. If you're resetting your artifact with every single build you're doing, you're automatically going to just slot in the ones you want. So the only thing it's really preventing in that system is the cost of it getting there. So you can't have things like Volatile Flow with these two mods right here and then also throwing on Rain of Firebolts and Flare Up. But in my opinion, that is not going to make you the most broken thing in the game. You could definitely just swap these out and make your way to get there. And going back to where we started, all it is just constantly resetting it over and over again. So I guess as a recap to say that, yes, I guess the 12 unlocks does help balance it out a little bit. But the problem is everyone kind of already has everything unlocked anyway, because you're always going to reset your artifact to get the mods you want for your certain builds. And there's really no reason to have a cap on it, in my opinion. If they do want to continue having 12 unlocks, I think they could potentially do is make it so you can have selectable mods in here instead of having to reset and do it all over again. But the reason the reset is in place is the fact because they do have cost to get there. Obviously, they don't want you deselecting anti-barrier pulse rifle and being able to put on 3 of the mods at the end. So even if it was selectable perks, you would have such a mess going on, because if you unselected anti-barrier pulse rifle, obviously that is not going to allow you to have access to some other mods, and it would kind of just ruin the whole thing, and it would go back to where it just reset the artifact. So in my opinion, the only way to really fix this is just to let you unlock every single thing again, like how it used to be, and to just keep them as unlockable perks. This may just be a complaint coming from somebody that plays the game way too much, and I would love to get everyone's opinion on this in the comment section down below. But having to reset 24/7 just to put in your artifact mods for a certain build is not that fun in my opinion, and the balancing factor of having 12 is honestly non-existent because everyone's going to reset anyway to get the certain mods they want for whatever certain build they're playing. All it does is add in a hassle just to get to the certain build you want. And what makes it even worse is with the brand new loadout system, it is so good that you can swap out any loadout you want to at any time, but the problem is it doesn't swap your artifact mod, so you still have to go in and swap these out even after if you get a quick loadout swap, and it is just very tedious and annoying. So I guess that's the final way they could change it, if they did tie your artifact mods to your loadout so you don't have to change them every single time, because you already know if I'm playing my PvP build with this current season, I'm going to be running double fire bullets, which I don't currently have equipped because I'm running a PvE loadout, and after doing that over and over again, it's just gotten a little tedious in my opinion. But that is going to do it all for me. Again, let me know what y'all think about this in the comments below. Are you experiencing the same issue? Do you wish Bungie would change this up a little bit? Do you even wish it would go back to the old system? I imagine most people don't, because them being unlockable perks is very, very strong, arguably borderline broken in some ways, which I guess could be a topic for another video. But I really do like the current system. I just really wish it wasn't as tedious to access it. I wish there was a way you could just unlock everything or save specific perks to your loadout. Anyways, that's going to do it all for me. If you all enjoyed and learned anything new, consider subscribing, drop a like, and turn those notifications on. Also, if you'd like to join my Discord or follow me on any of my socials, all that will be linked in the description as well. But just know watching this video is way more than enough, and that every single bit of support from you all is truly appreciated. Thank you all so much for watching this one, and have a great day. Peace.